a
Greek character of the old time.
Oh.
Now let's move on. Last time where we were, Noah, you had to help me to.
We're on page 57 on Robert Herrick.
Oh wow, that's pretty fast actually. Not bad.
Yep, we're making progress here.
57?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, which one? Which guy? Oh, okay, I'm gonna read this guy then. So, Robert Herrick, 1592 to 1674, was born in London. The seventh child to a wealthy goodsmith. His father fell to his death from their home's fourth floor window when, give me a break, when Herrick was still a baby. Since the father had written his will 2 days prior, suicide was suspected, yet the Crown allowed the family to keep the valuable estate, despite existing laws punishing suicide. Herrick probably received a traditional education until being apprenticed at the age of 16 to his uncle, a goodsmith who owned vast amounts of land that had been landed. Leaving the apprenticeship 6 years later, Herrick began studies in the St. John College in Cambridge as a fellow commoner. He later transferred to Trinity College to study law, and there received the master's. In 1620, he moved to London, where he met Ben Jonson, who became his poetic mentor. In 1623, he was ordained as a priest in the Church of England, serving as army chamberlain for the Duke of Buckingham. In 1627, he survived a field attack on the French, and Elie the Crown awarded him with the carriage of Dame Prior, and Herrick settled in the remote village in Devonshire in 1630, where he lived off and on for most of his life. Herrick published only one immense collection of poems during his lifetime, Hesperides, all the works of both humans and divine for Robert Herrick. What was that? Esquire?
Esquire? I don't know.
Esquire, I'm not sure. 1646. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Wow, long writings. Okay. I think I'm going to jump to the shorter ones to begin with. Okay, so,
right.
Yeah. Okay, delight in disorder. Go ahead.
Do you want me to read?
Yeah.
Delight in disorder. A sweet disorder in the dress kindles and clothes a wantonness, a lawn about the shoulders thrown into a fine distraction, an erring lace which here and there enthralls the crimson stomacher, a cuff neglectful and thereby ribbons to flow confusedly, a winning wave deserving note in the tempestuous petticoat, a careless shoestring in whose tie I see a wild civility. Do more bewitch me than when art is too precise in every part.
I'm going to forget about that one. So, okay. Well, let's just move on to stuff. I don't like his poems. Sorry.
Yeah, I want to see more.
George Herbert, 1593 to 1633, was born in Wiltshire, England, into a aristocratic family. He began writing poems while attending Trinity College, Cambridge, where he was elected the public orator of the college in 1620. He worked closely with the royal court for 5 years, served in Parliament. Herbert left the political life in 1625 to enter the priesthood for the Church of England, desiring to retire in the quiet country parish. He was ordained in 1630 and served as a rector in his hometown of Birmingham. Herbert's poetry, which was deeply religious, would later earn him recognition, as well as a major metaphysical poems, was never published during his lifetime. While on his deathbed, Herbert sent his works to a friend, Nicholas Farah, who published poems and the temple secret poems, the private
Ejaculations.
Ejaculations, 1633. So a masterful poetic matter. Some of Herbert's poems, such as Easter Winds and The Altar, are remembered for their original use for visual effects. Their shapes reflect their subject matter. Richly complex and original, Herbert's religious words influenced later poets such as Harry Wangan. Okay. Let's read his stuff. So, from the first one, please.
Oh.
Haha, that's a good one.
You want me to read?
Yeah.
Affliction, Part 4. Broken in pieces, all asunder, Lord, hunt me not, a thing forgot. Once a poor creature, now a wonder tortured in the space betwixt this world and that of grace. My thoughts are all a case of knives, wounding my heart with scattered smart. As watering pots give flowers their lives, nothing their fury can control. Well, they do wound and pink my soul. All my attendants are at strife, quitting their place unto my face. Nothing performs the task of life. The elements are all let loose to fight, and while I live, try out their right. Oh, help, my God! Let not their plot kill them and me, and also thee, who art my life. Dissolve the knot. As the sun scatters by his light all the rebellions of the night. Then shall those powers which work for grief enter thy pay, and day by day labor thy praise and my relief, with care and courage building me till I reach heaven and much more thee.
Oh, that's beautiful. Let me read. Affliction 4. Broken pieces all asunder. Lord, hunt me not, the thing forgone, the once a poor creature, now a wonder, tortured in the space betwixt this world and that of grace. My thoughts are all case knives, wounding my heart with scandalous smart, as watering pots give flowers or lies. Nothing the fear can control, what they do wound to pink my soul. All my attendants at a strife, quitting their place unto my face. Nothing performs the task of life, the elements are let loose to fight. While I live, try out their right. Oh, help, by God, let not them plot, kill them me, and also thee, who on my light dissolve the knot, and the sun scattered by his light all the rebellions of the night. Then shall those powers which work for grief enter thine pay, and day by day labor thine praise and my relief, with care and courage building me. This I reach heaven. Till I reach heaven, and much more thee. Well, comments?
I think it's mostly illustrating the goodness and fruit, even beauty of hardship, and the trials, maybe as said in James, that produce perseverance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a
Interesting.
pretty poem.
Yeah. From the inner examination of this. Okay.
I like, my favorite line is, my thoughts are all a case of knives, wounding my heart with scattered smart,
Yeah.
as watering pots give flowers their lives.
Yeah.
He kind of expounds on that, saying, nothing their fury can control, while they do wound and pink my soul. So there's,
The word pink there, what it means.
well,
And
just, if you were to wound like something or bruise it, you'd see a purple or even just pink that would usually represent a
hurt,
scratch or
hurt. Okay.
an irritation,
Okay.
an injury or something.
Okay. Like the next one, you take turns.
The collar.
Mm-hmm.
I struck the board and cried, "No more, I will abroad. What? Shall I ever see? Shall I ever sigh and pine? My lines and life are free, free as the road, loose as the wind, as large as store. Shall I be still in suit?
It's interesting, huh? I don't understand whatever he's saying. Sorry.
Have I no harvest but a thorn to let me blood, and to not restore what I have lost with the cordial fruit? Sure there was wine,
Cordial.
cordial fruit. Sure there was wine. Before my sighs did I dry it. There was corn before my tears did drown it. Is the year only lost to me? Have I no bays to crown it? No flowers, no garlands gay, all blasted?
Garlands gay.
Garlands gay.
Happy. Something, like a headdress, like a decoration.
blast-
Right? I'm sorry. Garland actually something in front of you, so like in the flowers. Go ahead.
All blasted, all wasted? Not so, my heart, but there is fruit, and thou hast hands. Recover all thy sign-blown age on double pleasures. Leave thy cold dispute of what is fit and not. Forsake thy cage, thy rope of sands, which petty thoughts have made, and made to thee good cable,
Like that.
to enforce and draw, and thy law,
Be thy law.
and be thy law. While didst wink, and wouldst not see, away, take heed, I will abroad. Take thy death's call in thy death's head there, tie up thy fears. He that forbears to sit up serve his need, deserves his load. But as I raved and grew more fierce and wild at every word, methought I heard one calling child, and I replied, my lord.
I'm going to read this, then no one can comment on this. Or you want to read, you read as well. The color. I struck the board and cried, no more, I will abroad. What? Shall I ever sigh and pine? My lion's life free, free as the road, lose the wind of the largest store. Shall I be still in suit? Have no harvest but the thorn to let me blood and now restore what I have lost with cordial fruit. Sure, there was wine. Before my sigh did dry it, there was corn. Before my tears did drown it. Is the year only lost to me? Had I no bays to crown it? No flowers, no garlands gay, all blasted, all wasted? Not so, my heart. But there is fruit, and thou hadst hands recover all thine sun-blown age. On double pleasures leave thy cold dispute, or what is a feat to naught, for they forsake thine cage, thine rope of sands, which petty thoughts have made, and made today good cable, to enforce and draw, and be thy law. While thou didst wink and wouldst not see, Away, take heed, I will abroad. Call in thine death's head there, tie up thine fears, he then forbears. To suit and serve his need, deserves his load. But I raved and grew more fierce the while the every word. Methought I heard one calling, Child! I replied, My Lord. Wow, that's interesting. Oh, I don't understand actually what he's talking about. Noah, go ahead. Interpret it for us.
I think even from the title, the collar has to do with restriction, almost like if he was like a pet or a dog.
Oh, I see.
And so he's beginning to, he's being complacent.
Yeah.
His soul's crying out in agony from his restriction in
Don't
life.
want to be restrained by the Lord. Okay.
Yeah, and the first portion is a complaint.
Mm-hmm.
And then it actually sounds good, but I don't think it is a good thing, where he begins to say, Not so, my heart, but there is fruit, and thou hast hands, all the way until deserves his load here. That's him beginning to propose his own idea of what life should be. His soul's beginning to...
Where's deserves his load?
Where it ends in the quotation there.
Oh, okay.
This is basically his soul speaking.
Oh, yes.
And so...
Oh, yes.
He begins to propose this very, I think, self-centered, self-reliant way of life. That his soul's just unleashing.
Crying out, like a waxing himself.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of confirmed by right after he says, But as I raved and grew more fierce and wild at every word. So he's getting further and further into this soulish outcry. The Lord checks him.
Like knock on the head in the knees. I literally have somebody smack on my head like that.
Yep, I think that's exactly what this was here.
Smack your head.
Yeah,
So?
that's actually a really good poem. I like that.
I like this.
That's good.
He did that. Listen.
He did it very
So-
artistically.
So you have feelings. That's what he said. I was struggling. I said, the Lord teach me. Oswald Cham said, God made you a doorman. Don't complain. Be a doorman. I said, hey, Lord, if you need me a doorman, I'm going to be a doorman. So something happened to stir things up. So I was arguing. Hey, guys, I'm ready to tell people, you hurt my feelings, okay? So ready to open my mouth, tell people that, and the Lord smacked my head like that. So, now your feelings.
Yeah.
Doorman supposed not have feelings, means? Yeah. Read. I like this.
You want me to read it?
Yeah, it's a beautiful poem.
The collar. I struck the board and cried, No more! I will abroad. What? Shall I ever sigh and pine? My lines and life are free, free as the road, loose as the wind, as large as store. Shall I be still in suit?
What that means? Large as a store. What that store means?
Well, I think he would refer more to like a storehouse, for instance, or a warehouse where everything is just very spacious,
okay.
and
Yeah,
full.
okay.
Well,
Shall I
full, but-
still in suit means dress like a priest or something like that? So I think.
Maybe. Yeah, that could be what it is. Maybe more generally referring to staying in this place of
Confinement. Okay. Yeah.
self-denial and discipline.
Okay. See.
Shall I be still in suit?
Okay.
Have I no harvest but a thorn to let me blood and not restore what I have lost with cordial fruit? Sure, there was wine before my sighs did dry it. There was corn before my tears did drown it.
That's very good.
Is the year only lost to me? Have I no bays to crown it?
What does base mean? Base something harvested or something.
You know what? I don't know exactly what that noun refers to.
Go ahead.
No flowers, no garlands gay. I think it may have a relation to that there.
Yeah.
All blasted, all wasted. Not so, my heart, but there is fruit, and thou hast hands. Recover all thy sigh-blown age on double pleasures. Leave thy cold dispute of what is fit and not. Forsake thy cage, thy rope of sands, which petty thoughts have made, and made to thee good cable to enforce and draw, and be thy law, while thou didst wink and wouldst not see. Away, take heed, I will abroad. Call in thy death's head there, tie up thy fears. He that forbears to suit and serve his need deserves his load.
Deserves his load. Now, what this saying "I will abroad" means what? He's gonna get.
I'm getting out of here.
Oh, okay.
I'm leaving.
I'm getting here. Okay, that's good. Go ahead.
But as I raved and grew more fierce and wild at every word, methought I heard one calling, "Child!" And I replied, "My Lord."
That's great. Now, this is a good one. Easter wings. I guess this is where from.
Crazy.
Yeah, you go ahead. You first.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Easter wings. Lord, who createdst man in wealth and store, or in abundance, though foolishly he lost the same, decaying more and more, till he became most poor. With thee, oh, let me rise as larks harmoniously, and sing this day thy victories. Then shall the fall further in the flight in me. My tender age and sorrow did begin, and still with sickness and shame thou didst so punish sin, that I became most thin. With thee, let me combine and feel this day thy victory. For if I imp, or graft, my wing on thine, affliction shall advance the flight in me.
What is about? Store bonus, grant the term of.
It's like
kind of
clipping his wings to where you
Okay.
can't fly.
Okay.
Or something. Yeah.
Eastern winds. Lord, who createst mine wealth store, though foolishly lost the same, decaying more and more, till he became most poor with thee. Oh, let me rise and as larks harmoniously, and sing this day thine victories, and shall the fall further the flight in me. My tender age in sorrow did begin, and still with sicknesses and shame. Thou didst so punish sin that I became most thin with thee. Let me combine to feel this day thy victory. For if I am my wing on thy, affliction shall at once flight in me. That's a beautiful one.
Mm-hmm.
You want to read it or not? To you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Lord, who has created in me wealth and store,
Yeah.
Create a man, right? Okay.
though foolishly he lost the same, decaying more and more, till he became most poor.
Most poor.
With thee, O let me arise,
Oh, they don't let me rise.
as larks harmoniously, and sing this day thy victories. Then shall the fall further the flight in me. My tender age and sorrow did begin, and with sickness and shame thou didst punish sin, that I became most thin. With thee let me combine, and feel that this day thy victory. For if I amp my wing on thine, affliction shall advance the flight in me.
That's beautiful.
I like that line. Affliction shall advance the flight in me.
Yeah. Last one, we're going to read all his poems. I like his poems.
Yeah.
Finish this too, okay? So, I'm going to first. Love, the third, I guess. Love bade me welcome, yet my soul drew back. guilty for dust and sin. But quick-eyed love observed me grew slack. From my first entrance in, drew nearer to me, sweetly questioning if I lacked anything. A guest answered, worthy to be here. Love said, you shall be he. I, the unkind, ungrateful? Oh, my dear, I cannot look on thee. Love took my hand, smiled the reply. Who made the eyes but I? Truth, Lord, but I have marred them. Let my shame go where it does deserve. And know you not, said love, who bore the blame, my dear, then I will serve. You must sit down, says love, and taste my meat. So I did sit and eat. Oh, what a beautiful interaction there.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have Elijah read this one. And there's no one. That's beautiful. I like it. It's always proposing dialogues, you know? So,
Yeah.
Love bade me welcome, yet my soul drew back, guilty of dust and sin. But quick-eyed love, observing the grow slack from my first interest in, drew near to me, sweetly questioning if I lacked anything. A guest, I answered, worthy to be here. Love said, you shall be he. I, the unkind and grateful? Ah, my dear, I cannot look on thee. Love took my hand and smiling did reply, who had made the eyes but I? Truth, Lord, I have marred them, and let my shame go where it doth deserve. And now you not, says love, who bore the blame? My dear, then I will serve. You must sit down, says love, and taste my meat. So I did sit and eat.
Interesting, huh? Go ahead, Noah.
Love bade me welcome, yet my soul drew back, guilty of dust and sin. But quick-eyed love, observing me grow slack from my first entrance in, drew nearer to me, sweetly questioning if I lacked anything. A guest, I answered, worthy to be here. Love said, you shall be he. I, the unkind, ungrateful? Ah, my dear, I cannot look on thee. Love took my hand and smiling did reply, who made the eyes but I? Truth, Lord, but I have marred them. Let my shame go where it doth deserve. And know you not, says love, who bore the blame? My dear, then I will serve. You must sit down, says love, and taste my meat. So I did sit and eat.
No, that's beautiful one, Basili. Okay. Next one. What does the word poly means?
Some kind of it's some kind of mechanical device.
Okay.
I think it's one of those things that you pull up on. It's on a little wheel.
Oh,
and it brings something up.
I see. Yeah. Okay.
Pulley device. Something like that.
Follow the same.
Might be
sequence,
something else though.
Okay. The poly. When God the first made man, having a glass blessing standing by, let us, said he, pour on him all we can. Let the world riches which dispersed lie, contract into a span. So strength first made a way, then beauty flowed, then wisdom, honor, and pleasure. Almost all was out, God made a stay. perceiving that the loan of all his treasure rest in the bottom lay. For if I should, said he, bestow this jewel also on my creature, he would adore my gifts instead of me, and rest in nature, not the God of nature. So both should losers be. They let him keep the rest, but keep them with repining restlessness. Let him be rich and weary, and the least, if goodness lead him not, in weariness may toss him to my breast. That's very philosophical poem, actually. So, Go ahead, Elijah. Polly. It's interesting.
When God first made man, having a glass of blessings standing by, let us, said he, pour onto him all we can. Let the world's riches, which dispersed lie, contact into a span. To strength first made a way, and then beauty followed, then wisdom.
Elijah, you need to slow down a little bit because you're missing a lot of words. Start at so again.
So strength first made a way, then beauty followed.
Flowed.
Then wisdom, honor, pleasure, then almost all was out.
When
almost all was out, God made a stay, perceiving that alone all of his treasure rest in the bottom lay. For if I should, said he, bestow this jewel on my creature, he would adore my gifts instead of me, and rest in nature, not the God of nature. So both should losers be. Yet let him keep the rest, but keep them with repenting restlessness. Let him be rich and weary, that at least, if goodness led him not, yet weariness may toss him to my breast.
That's interesting concept, yeah. Think about the God. Okay. Go ahead, Noah.
For Pulley, when God at first made man, having a glass of blessings standing by, let us, said he, pour on him all we can. Let the world's riches, which dispersed lie, contract into a span. That's the distance between the tips or thumb and pinky. So strength first made a way, then beauty flowed, then wisdom, honor, pleasure. When almost all was out, God made a stay, perceiving that, alone of all his treasure, rest in the bottom lay. For if I should, said he, bestow this jewel also on my creature, he would adore my gifts instead of me, and rest in nature, not the God of nature. So both should losers be. Yet let him keep the rest, but keep them with repining restlessness. Let him be rich and weary, that at least, if goodness lead him not, yet weariness may toss him to my breast. That's very interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Rich and weary means...
It's like a pulley. You're pulling down and bringing something up.
Yeah, bringing us up. That's already interesting.
That might be a book worth getting, his poems. He's pretty good.
He's really
like
good.
it
Yeah. I think they're all free, so...
I mean, he didn't even publish anything himself.
Yeah.
Those are his own personal things.
Yeah. Well, it's always... I like it. I like this poem, man.
Yeah,
So,
those are good.
we're artists.